Spoilers and Fandom is like a book club for geeky stuff. Join us as we delve into the depth of our backlogs and sift through the games, comics, shows, movies, and books that we haven't checked out yet. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Spoilers and Fandom. I'm Hellsknight.
I'm Hillary.
And today we are going to talk about East of West Volume 2 without any spoilers.
Yes.
And if you've been reading along with us, I advise that you read Volume 1 first, because Volume 1 does a lot of the world building and stuff, and it's really hard to talk about this book without talking about the world. So we're going to try, and we won't tell you how Volume 1 ends. This is why it's so tricky. We won't tell you how Volume 1 ends, but we'll give you the basic gist.
Yeah.
But seriously, read Volume 1 first.
Yeah.
So, first of all, East of West, it's written by Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
And the artist on this book is Nick Dragota?
Yeah, Nick Dragota. Yeah.
Dragota, yeah. And it's published by Image. I did some research to try find out how they came up with this book. I could not find that. What I know is John Hickman and the artist Dragota were working on Fantastic Four together.
Yeah.
And from the interviews I've been watching, I get a sense that John Hickman really wanted to do his own... My voice is going. Sorry. Yeah. John Hickman did... He's always wanted to do his own creator-owned stuff. So the general consensus that I'm understanding from him and interviews with the artists is you don't own, when you work for Marvel or DC, you don't actually own any of the characters or any of the IP. It's not up to you what happens. So it's always like your thing to create new worlds or new characters that you would own.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. So they talked about doing a book together, and this was the spawn of that Fantastic Four collaboration.
Yeah. And it was actually back in 2013. So it's been established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, so based on the interviews, Hickman planned out 50 issues with how it, like, from beginning to end. 50 issues. I think it's
at 45 now.
Okay. Well,
so.
Yeah, issue 50 was supposed to be the last one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe that has a different name. I don't know if it's finished yet. But he has a very specific end. Maybe they even shortened it to 45.
Maybe.
Because this was, like, initially on release.
Yeah.
But this is generally a well-received book. Although I don't know as many people who talk about it.
No, like I remember when it did drop, it had a lot of hype.
Yeah.
It was very, very popular when it came out. Guys gave it a lot of props for the story, the art. It was, and even just the guys behind it. It got a lot of positive news, positive hype.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is a very interesting comic.
Yeah.
It's just that, again, it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for us picking up on it now, yes, we'll be a bit out of the loop, but it is big. It is really one of the best comics that came out. Like, I'm told, like, the first issue sold out on the first week.
I'd see that, because the first issue, well, the first volume, I think is really got a lot going on.
Yeah. And it was in best new comic lists and top 10 comics of the year that it came out.
Oh.
Yeah. So it had its moment, but I think we're just the ones who picked up on it a little late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's talk about the world. I should mention that I got this in a bundle. Humble do a lot of Image comic bundles.
Yeah.
So I got, like, a bunch of issues of East of West ages ago, and then again, I think this year they had, like, a Hickman bundle. So a whole bunch. Like, I think I got all of them up to 45 now.
Oh, nice.
So, those are really worth it, I think. if you're looking to get these on the cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about the world. So this world is very unique.
Mm-hmm.
It is like an alt history setting.
Dystopian future.
Dystopian future, dystopian present. It's hard to say because it's quite skewed. The world is very sci-fi fantasy Western. So think like if Saber Rider was based on one planet and had magic.
Yeah, on Earth.
With like lots of politics, and it's quite dark. It's not a happy looking world, I don't think.
Yeah.
And the story basically takes place in the States. Something weird happened with this world. A comet hit, and the different factions, like basically America as we know it, is split up into 7 nations, and those are New Shanghai, which is I'm getting like exiled Chinese expatriates.
Yeah. Basically,
who have come and
Seattle
settled.
side.
Yeah. And it looks like San Francisco-ish.
Yeah.
I think. Texas is its own like nation.
Yeah. The Republic of Texas.
The Republic of Texas. Yeah. Then there is the USA as we know it. It's called
the Union.
Yeah. It's just called the Union.
Yeah.
There is the Kingdom of New Orleans.
Yeah.
Which is super like African Wakanda-ish kind of vibes.
They have, yeah.
And it's, I think I would assume it's based off of the slaves that were taken. They established their kingdom. There is the Endless Nation, which is the Native American Red Indian clans. They have their own thing. And there's the British guys.
I don't think they were British. Because the name...
Chamberlain.
Yeah, Chamberlain. Because they came with the name... I think they were called the Confederacy. So it's like... The vibe that I got was... It's the American Civil War.
Okay.
Yeah. And that comet thing, asteroid thing, hit during that.
Yeah.
And all the groups that were warring pretty much at around that time split. So everybody went to do their thing. So Texas went and did their thing.
They were all warring.
Yeah.
When the comet hit, they decided to come up with a treaty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was the 7th though? I can't remember.
The armistice. The guys who hold the treaty.
Who are at ground zero.
Yeah, the guys at ground zero.
Right. So so those are the 7 nations. They were like we said, they were all warring. After the comet hit, peace was established. But on that same day that the comet hit, there was like a religion that started spreading. And that religion is sort of like the backbone of this entire story. That religion is called the Message. And it's sort of like people are aware about it, but it's sort of like considered like a cult. Like it's sort of like a secret religion is the vibe throughout the book. I won't go into more details about that. So that's basically the world it's set in. But the story revolves around the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And the Horsemen of the Apocalypse have... Like, the book opens with 3 of them being, like, appearing, wanting to end the world. That's how the book begins. 3 of them. And I'd say the main character of the story is Death.
Yeah.
And Death is looking for something. And he's not with the Horsemen. I can't tell you more than that because...
Spoilers.
It will be a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's it. So what do you think of the setting?
I really like the setting. I'm a sucker for anything Western. You know that.
Yeah. Playing Red Dead, I'm like, oh, dude.
Anything Western. So for me, this was just so easy to start and stick into.
Yeah.
And I did like the story of the 4 horsemen being used to tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can even tell, like, from the beginning, like, right from page 2, you can tell that there's something off.
Yeah.
You just now get the gravity of it as now you go on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I really like Horseman stories as well. The Horsemen of the... Like, they're probably my most memorable stories. Like, if you look at X-Men...
Oh, okay.
You have the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Like, Archangel and whoever variations are there.
Yeah.
Except for the movie, I guess. But, I really do like that. I like the Darksiders games lore. That has a comic as well, by the way.
I've never played the game or read that comic.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I pick it, maybe I'll pick that.
Okay,
then.
yeah, sure.
Because I never finished them.
Okay.
But yeah, basically Horsemen of the Apocalypse stories are really, I really love knowing about that. It sounds really epic and cool.
Yeah.
So, I've always had a thing for those kinds of stories. And it being a Western with sci-fi stuff, I remember the first time I was reading this book, you're seeing cowboys and stuff, but with weird, steampunk looking, attachments or armor pieces.
Yeah.
And then you see their horses in quotes.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? That is so cool.
I really dig those mounts. Yeah. Whatever the hell they are.
Yeah.
Because this is good. Yeah, this will be, we'll talk about it in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can talk about the art though.
Yeah.
And some of the character designs, because they're very, very cool.
Yeah.
And again, Nick
Dragota, yeah.
Yeah, Neil Dragota?
Nick.
Yeah. So he basically is a Kirby guy for the most part. All the work that he's done with Marvel has been based off of his understanding of how Kirby did stuff. Again, this is based off of my research.
Yeah.
So yeah. But when he worked on this, he tried to kind of do his own thing. And he took influences from other writers who've done manga. The writer who did the Meta Baron, which is one of the recommendations that people have given us to check out for the show. And so he's tried to incorporate that with scenes off the background and trying to make the world look like a character in itself, which I think he did really well.
Yeah.
Because you get lots of scenes with characters and then backdrops off architecture or
of the cities,
of the cities,
establishing shots. Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of good stuff like that in this book with the art. I would say it's kind of modern.
Yeah. It's a modern comic.
It's very clean.
Yeah. They don't aim to make it look
it's not noirish.
Yeah.
Really. They don't do too much with shadows. They do a bit with shadows, but it's not the noir gritty.
Yeah. It's a pretty it's good, clean, modern art.
And it does feel superhero-ish with the way characters are placed.
Yeah, even just the poses, the way they do things. Yeah.
So
it has an epic vibe about it. That's the feeling that I got as I was reading it.
Yeah.
Because once you... Okay, that's the thing I really like about it. The story itself is epic. The art feeds into that in the same way. And and a lot of the stories, while they can be personal, it feels like you can zoom in and out. Both ways. They do really take you through each and every character, their motivations, how they got where they got, and all that. You'll get a feel of everybody as you meet them slowly.
Yeah. And also again a testament to these guys working together and structuring their panels in such a weird way. Well, not a weird way, in such a purposeful way. There's a lot of flashing forward and flashing back in time with this book. And most of the flashbacks in time will appear on a whole new page.
Yeah.
Where you'll get narrative bubbles, I guess, of what's going on. Of the character continuing to narrate the events. But there'll be no talking in those flashbacks. Which I thought was unless they're necessary. But they'll end on that page. They'll end on a page and then the next page will then continue from the present.
Yeah.
So it does that quite a bit, which I thought was really clever. Because it doesn't actually... It rarely tells you present day or, past, years ago.
Yeah.
It will be a character narrating, this and this happened. And you sort of get this... The next page, the character looks a little younger it's in a new place and, you know, stuff is happening. I thought that was really well done. It reminded me of Kill Bill for some reason, with the way they would do that.
And even in part of the when I saw some of the panels for like the flashbacks, especially, I remember that some of them were tinted like all in one full color.
Yep.
Yeah. So you could also they're basically color coded.
Yeah, and also like with the Horsemen in particular, they have certain colors that they are represented in.
Oh yeah. Because
so you can always okay, this is spoiler stuff, I guess, but you can always see how they, like, when it's a flashback, they look a little different, even though they're the same color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't say more than that, but yeah.
But sorry, the 4 horsemen that we're actually discussing are the same ones that people we read about in like the stories of Armageddon, of the apocalypse.
So there's war.
Yeah.
There's famine. Mm-hmm. There's death. Mm-hmm. And so this one is the one that changes. This one in this book it's conquest.
Yeah.
In some other books it's strife. Mm-hmm. I believe in Darksiders it's fury. Mm-hmm. And in some books it's pestilence. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like that conquest is the one that changes a bit.
Yes. Yeah, it's mostly conquest. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, you're right. It's conquest who changes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's those 4.
Yeah.
And they have more or less the same classical descriptions that you'd have. Because war does carry a fiery sword. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm trying also not to give any more
Don't
information.
give too much. But yeah, I really love the designs of all the characters in this book. Mm-hmm. Especially their 2 supporting characters who are with Death. First of all, Death's design is awesome.
Yes.
He is just a cowboy, but like he shifts depending on how angry he is. His face changes a little bit.
Yeah.
In the book, and that does a lot to, I think, elevate the tension in a situation. Mm-hmm. I thought.
No, it does.
Which was pretty cool. But like his design is just, you know, like a cowboy, but then when you see his face and you contrast, like he's drawn in a contrast. He's white. He's all white.
Yeah.
And it's such a contrast to the most of the world, I guess, except to his companions who are also black and white. If you've noticed, like his companions are Crow and Wolf.
Yeah.
Crow is arguably the coolest design for a character I have seen in really long. She is this. She looks like a shadow kind of person, a person that looks like a shadow. Like if you took Black Cat.
Actually, just imagine dipping somebody in black paint.
Yeah.
Head to toe.
Yeah. And just gave like Native American fetishes and stuff.
Yeah.
And white hair. But at the same time, like, you know, there's certain accents that she has. Basically looking like a crow with like white accents.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. And Wolf, who is also like all white with a cape and a loincloth. And that's about it. And a feather, maybe. Or 2.
Oh, yeah.
And weird eye makeup. Like looking like basically like Quan Chi if Quan Chi was cooler.
Actually,
or something. Yeah.
So that's Death and his 2 main companions.
Yeah. Their designs are amazing. Yeah. And even the designs of the other horsemen are so unique.
Yeah.
Throughout the book. So I really, really, really praise this book on its design. Yeah,
the design, even for me,
and the architecture and.
For me, what hooked me was the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story is what hooked me. The design and everything else was just added benefits of enjoying the story as you go through it.
Well, the story, yeah. So the story in volume 2. We've talked about the world and what that Death is just trying to look for something. I don't think we can talk more about that.
The non-spoiler section,
like the first volume has a very introduction to the world kind of pacing, kind of story journey.
Yeah.
With the second volume, there's a lot more world building, but it focuses on it's super political, I thought, the second volume.
Yeah.
And it focuses on the villains of the book, who are called the Chosen, and we'll talk about them in the spoilers.
Yeah.
But it's less, it's got a lot less grand action from the first volume. I will say that.
Yeah.
So the pacing for me was a little bit slower.
For volume 2 specifically.
For volume 2.
For volume 2, yeah.
Volume 1 kind of ramps up the action.
Yeah.
Reaches a point. And then it continues, but the action is a lot slower. And it's focused mainly on what the Chosen are doing.
Yeah.
I thought. You still get to see what Death's up to, but
it's more now
it's
reaction.
More focused. Yeah, it's more focused on the aftermath of what happened in volume 1.
Yeah.
So I think I was a little taken back by that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I thought that was kind of cool as well.
Okay.
It was a bit, because you're coming off of volume 1 with, crazy stuff happening. I can't go into detail, but there's like really good stuff that happens in volume 1. And then the pacing just kind of
settles down a bit.
Settles down, and it kind of felt Game of Thronesy with the politics.
I feel that's more because of the choice of the character that they used to push the politics story.
Yeah.
The president.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's because for them, that's how power shifts. Mm-hmm. So we have to be part of that whole shift in power the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really like the fact that I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked the element of the change in pace.
Yeah.
Because it now gives you there's a bit that I'll explain it in the spoiler section.
Yeah, there's so much backstory.
Yeah, there's so much backstory you're
there's
given.
More world building. And
because they even it's literally explained.
Really
They literally explain why the change was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this book will also have like a lot of rereadability as well with the way he's written.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff you'll definitely miss.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you'll definitely miss a couple of things. Like instantly, what I did was quick question. Mm-hmm. When did you read volume 1?
Really long ago, at least 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Did you remember anything of volume 1 when you read it?
No, when I read it again, there was some stuff that I never noticed before though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now for me, I read volume 1 and 2 basically back to back.
Yeah.
So for me, I read volume 1, then I was like, oh damn, this is dope. Then I read volume 2 and I was like, oh, this is dope. I'm actually gonna finish the entire series.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But immediately I finished volume 2, I went back to read volume 1. I went back to read volume 1 again to see if there's anything that I missed the first pass through. And there is.
Yep.
It feels, for me, it has almost about the same amount of information that Monstrous had.
Yeah,
Yeah. And in terms of backstory and world building, it has about the same information.
It's quite masterful.
Yeah.
I would say if we're comparing it to Monstrous, though, I think the art in Monstrous was...
Oh, yeah, the art in Monstrous would be
superior,
better. Yeah, the art in Monstrous is better, but this does the politics better than Monstrous.
I like the story better as well, kind of.
Okay. That, I don't know. If I had to pick between those
Monstrous and East of West.
Monstrous and East, I'd pick Monstrous, I wouldn't lie.
You'd pick Monstrous?
I'd pick Monstrous.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for like revenge kind of story plots.
But that's also in Monstrous.
Monstrous felt more like Venom for me.
Okay, yeah.
And
I get what you mean.
It was more about like, for me, like Monstrous had like really cool character designs as well. Mm-hmm. But I thought the character designs for the bad guys in Monstrous were way cooler.
Yeah, the bad guys in Monstrous were better than the good guys.
Yeah, their designs were cooler. Although, the world... Although, like, with Monstrous, you had the thing with the cats. We're going into Monstrous, though.
Yeah.
It had the thing with the cats that would give you the lore.
Yeah.
I think if that was in this book, I honestly think it would be
Better.
cool. Because over here, it's very cryptic. The stuff that you're given, it's quite cryptic.
Yeah.
Because there's like a lot of quotes from the message religion that repeat themselves over and over. And you know, like, unless you have a knack for being patient, I see this being something that might annoy you. I made my wife read the first volume. She really liked it.
Yeah.
But initially, she was like a bit like, what the hell is this message nonsense?
Yeah.
You know, like...
Like, I also gave my girlfriend volume 1 to try.
Yeah.
She started volume 1 and she was like, I don't know where this is going, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
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 But again, with a few reservations.
Yeah.
So it does have a bit of a slow burn, especially volume 2. More than volume 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all worth it.
The reveals in volume 2 are amazing.
like I didn't expect it at all. Like, I stopped volume 1, let's say, like, I read them in 2 days, back to back. But you can totally do it within a day.
You can.
You can. Okay, yeah, you can.
I couldn't. My wife couldn't as well. She had to look up words. She's not used to reading stuff in English. That's really complex. And so again, mature comics have like words that you don't normally see.
Yeah.
So she had to dictionary a few words as well.
Yeah. But overall, I don't know. I really, really, really like East of West. For me, it's this is one of the easiest ones to rank.
But what about volume 2 though?
I loved one and 2.
Yeah.
This was one of the easiest comics for me to rank. Maybe even easier than Monstrous. Because I liked it almost as much as that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we close it out then and talk spoilers? Wait, we've talked plot, we've talked
characters,
we've talked art, we've talked
story. Oh, yeah, we've done everything.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we can say that this ends on a weird cliffhanger, which is really messed up.
Yes.
Volume 2 does end on a really rough cliffhanger. You're going to want to read Volume 3.
I'm definitely starting Volume 3 today.
Yeah, so it does end on that. So keep that in mind. You could say Volume 2 does not tell a full story. It just gives like a lot of reveals.
Yeah.
Of stuff that I guess is introduced in Volume 1, but it's revealed like there's like a lot of twists. So keep that in mind. And also, one of the main characters that was apparently promoted in the art only shows up in Volume 2. And we'll talk about that in the spoiler section. Yeah, Hillary has a quizzical look. So we'll move on to the spoiler section. How would you rate this?
8. Easy.
8?
Yeah. Because I liked it as much as Monstrous. I liked it in the same way.
You gave Monstrous like a 9 though, I think.
No, wait, let me check. No, Monstrous I gave it an 8. So I like it as much as Monstrous. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, I think an 8 for Volume 2. I think for me the series as a whole is probably like a 9 or... I hope it's a 10. But so far it's like a 9. Like as a whole the series feels like a 9. But Volume 2, 8 for me as well.
Ah, cool.
So go check it out. If you haven't, read Volume 1, read Volume 2. I think this is one comic that is really worth reading.
Definitely easy.
An easy recommendation.
Yeah.
And yeah, join us when we talk about the spoiler section, where we will dive in and talk about, instances
a few more
in this book that really, really are worth talking about.
Yeah.
Which are quite a lot, actually.
Oh. So you want to...
We should also mention, before we go, the next thing that we're checking out is a TV show, and Hillary has his pick.
Yeah.
Which is?
Fargo.
Yeah,
Fargo season 1?
Yeah.
Fargo season 1. Because I haven't started it yet. And I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've just never been able to pick it up, so hey, why not?
Yeah, it's got a name like Fargo.
Yeah.
It's not the most compelling name, but, we'll check it out. So check out Fargo Season 1.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm Hellsknight.
I'm Hillary.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Do you have an opinion on what we just discussed? Did we miss something? Tell us in the comments section and we'll read it in the next episode. If you're listening on Anchor, send us a voice message and we'll add it to this episode. Don't forget to follow our podcast on Twitter @SpoilFans for updates. And follow our Instagram for behind-the-scenes action @SpoilersInFandom.
Also, subscribe to us on YouTube and Anchor to get the latest episodes.